Hello, dear students. Welcome to your biology class. So, today we'll be starting a new chapter from your second evaluation syllabus, that is chapter 8, How do organism reproduce. So, before starting the chapter, let me notify you the circulation that is issued by SEBA board. So, as per the latest circulation from this chapter, we will be starting up to unit 8.3.2, and from unit 8.3.3 onwards, it is omitted just for this year only. So, you remember we will study up to 8.3.2, and from unit 8.3.3, it is completely omitted. So, that's leave us with only few points to discuss, that is what is reproduction, what are the type of reproduction, and reproduction in plants. So we'll discuss this now. Before starting the chapter, now how do organism reproduce? So before this question, how do organism reproduce, so let us know why do organism reproduce. Now organism reproduction is a essential activity of each and every animal. Now, every animal wants to keep its offspring, keep its gene alive, and continue it throughout the time. So, every organism has the tendency to, leave his mark or leave her mark in this planet. So that is why reproduction has become a necessary activity, because every organism want to you know keep his mark or keep his gene alive through reproduction. Now when we say reproduction, so reproduction is basically your own copy or the copy of parents. Now there are different types of reproduction, which as per which this copy formation varies. Now in order to form that copy, that might not be exact copy or clone, in other words, there is a variation. So in order to form that copy or from that offspring, should be a blueprint, there should be a framework or software, which should be there should be a blueprint which will be utilized to form the next generation, and that information is found in our DNA or in the DNA of the parent organism. So now, do organism create the exact copy of themselves? No, in not all the cases. So before starting reproduction, you need to know that there are two type of reproduction. First of all, what is reproduction? Reproduction is the process of creating your own offspring. Now reproduction may be of two type. Reproduction, again, two type. One is the sexual, another is the asexual. Now in sexual mode of reproduction, what do happen exactly? So there is the involvement of both male and female. But in case of asexual reproduction, there no two individual is required, only single individual can perform the function of reproduction. Now how does it happen? We'll get to know. Now in case of sexual reproduction, so there is a very important term known as fertilization. So as I have mentioned previously, that in case of sexual reproduction, both male and female are required. So when this both male and female fuse, they fertilize to form. This fertilization will give rise to the next generation. Now before going any further, let us first discuss the sexual reproduction in plant. Now the sexual reproduction, or the main part which is responsible for reproduction in plant, is the flower. Here we will take the example of China rose, which in scientific term we say is Hibiscus rosa chinensis. So now here we will study this whole flower, and we will understand and we will try to find out which are the reproductive part and which are the non-reproductive part, and which are the female parts and which are the male parts. Now before starting, so let me make you familiar with the different part of the flower. So the first part which we'll be talking about is calyx. So this is calyx, all right, and the second part, that is corolla. Corolla. Now this calyx is comprises of sepal. So these are sepal. No, sepal are, in the bottom of the flower we you see the green part, right? So this is sepal, and in corolla you will find the petal. Now petal are generally, these are petal, the coloring part. The coloring part of the flower are called petal. Now what do you think can be will be the use of sepal, or the sepal? So what is the use of sepal? So if you look very much closely, you will notice that sepal is located in the outermost part of the flower. So its function will be to keep the flower together, bind together. And plus, when the flower was young, during the budding stage, means what, when the flower was very young, when it hasn't bloomed yet, so the sepal, it uh, kept it enclosed and covered and protected. Now this part, this section, this whole section, so this is the female part. Now what we will find in this part? First of all, this is the stigma, this is the style, and this is the ovary. So stigma, style, ovary, this comprises the female reproductive part, or in other word we say it gynoecium. Whereas if we look at the male part, we will see there is this is the anther, and this is the filament. So togetherly they are known as stamen or the androecium, the male part. So now what exactly happens? What exactly happened? Now how this organism, how the plant reproduce? Now we have already seen that both the male part and female part are present in single flower, right? So in anther, or in the tip, so there is a sac-like structure known as pollen sac. Now this pollen sac will contain pollen. Now this pollen is the male gamete. Now this pollen is the male gamete, and in the gynoecium this ovary is the female gamete. So from this pollen sac, this pollen will fall on the stigma, and it will finally fertilize the ovary. Now this is a long process. We have to know this in detail. Don't worry, we will discuss this in detail. So suppose this is the gynoecium, right? Suppose this is the gynoecium. Now, and this is the androecium. Now from here, from this pollen sac, pollen will fall here. Now when I say pollen will fall here, means what? It will do what? The pollen will do what? It will ultimately fertilize the ovule or the female part. Now this process is called pollination. Now pollination are of two types. One is the self pollination and the other is the cross pollination. Now what is self pollination? When pollen grain from the same flower falls into the falls into the stigma of the same flower, and it fertilizes the egg of the same flower, we say it pollination. Whereas if the pollen grain is of different flower, we say it to be cross pollination. All right. Now when pollen grain falls on the now this is what I have said as ovule, and this part is as a whole is called as ovary. So inside ovary there is ovule. Now this stigma has some sticky substance on it. So when the pollen grain will fall there, so it will do what? So it will, this pollen grain contain the male gamete, and this ovule contain the female gamete. Now this will do what? This pollen grain will form a tube, and it will connect to the ovary. Instead of coming directly inside, it will do what? It will form a tube. So through this tube the gametes will come inside. Now this particular tube is called pollen tube. Now when the pollen tube will come inside, it will fuse, it will fertilize the ovary to create the embryo. Now, so this is how fertilization take place in flowering plant, or sexual reproduction take place in flowering plant. We are still discussing the sexual reproduction in flowering plant. Now another thing about, so this is called fertilization, but what actually happen in the ovary? There are two more cells. So there are two more cells which are not the ovule, but two more cells. Okay. Yeah. So these are called polar nuclei. Polar nuclei. Now what exactly happen? So one cell, one gamete will come and it will fertilize the ovule, and another gamete will again, it will enter and it will fertilize these two polar nuclei. So when it will fertilize two polar nuclei, so we call it triple fusion. Triple fusion, or in other word, so why it is triple fusion? Because it contains two polar nuclei of the ovary and one from the pollen grain. And when, okay, this is triple fusion, and when male gamete, it will fertilize the ovule, we call it syngamy. Right? Now I think you have understood what is triple fusion, what is syngamy. Triple fusion is also known as endosperm. So this syngamy, this will do what? It will give rise to future plant, and endosperm, this will form the cotyledon. Right? Now, so ultimately, this ovule, that is syngamy, this will give rise to seed, and this ovary, this will give rise to the fruit. Yeah. Now take a seed for example. Now this is how the seed, the sexual reproduction takes place in flower, which ultimately give rise, which ultimately leads in the production of seed. Now if you take a typical seed and cut it into two half, we will notice that it is somewhat like this, right? So this is these are the cotyledons, right? And this is the radicle, and this is the what? This is the plumule. So from the diagram itself, it is very clear that this will grow up to be future shoot, and this will make the future root. Finished. Okay. So that's it. The sexual reproduction in plants. So what is sexual reproduction again? Sexual reproduction is the type of reproduction in which the involvement of both female and male gamete are required. Now one of the very important or plus point of sexual reproduction is it lead to variation. Now what is variation? Now if you look at yourself, you are not the exact carbon copy of your parent, but yet there are similarities, right? You are a combination of both your parents. So this is variation. Variation means what? When you are slightly, or when you are different from your parents, yet you have all the good qualities in them, and you are different from your parents. That's the variation. Now in variation, generally what happens? So all the good or all the qualities that are required for the better survival, which are accumulated by your parents, it will do what? It will pass on to the next generation, and which will give the offspring, means what, the children, a better chance of survival. So variation is very much important. So sexual reproduction leads to variation because it will have the qualities of both mother and father. But in case of asexual reproduction, which I have said, it involves only one parent. So in this case, the chances of variation are very low. So few type of asexual reproduction which we'll discuss, and after that we will end the chapter. So the first type of asexual reproduction that we'll be discussing in this chapter are fission. Now there are what? Don't get confused. Fusion and fission. Fusion means what? When two things fuse together, means what? Get joined together. Suppose they are two things, so they get joined to form one single thing. So this is fusion. But fission means what? From one, when it will be divided into two. Quite the opposite, right? This is the fission. So in some single cell animal like amoeba, what actually happened? Suppose this is an amoeba. Suppose this is an amoeba. So it will do what? First of all, it will divide its nuclei, and it will contracting from this side, and finally it will give rise to two daughter cell, two daughter amoeba, right? So this is called fission. Means what? Directly dividing into two daughter individual or two daughter organisms. So this is called fission, nothing else. Very simple. So a few example are amoeba. So these are asexual reproduction in animal I am discussing. So another type of asexual reproduction in animal is fragmentation. Excuse me. Now in fragmentation what happens? In fragmentation, an organism, it will do what? It will suppose an organism, example like Spirogyra. So they will do what? They will form a fragment out of their own body. Means what? So they will, but suppose take an organism, take Spirogyra for example. It will do what? It will first of all the organism will mature. Then after maturing, it will divide itself, or it will break itself into smaller mini parts. So this small part will grow again and form a new individual. So this is called fragmentation. But there is another type of asexual reproduction which is quite similar to fragmentation, that is regeneration. Now in case of regeneration, what happened? In case of regeneration, what happened? This one happens on purpose. But in regeneration, what happen? If you take an animal, right, and if you cut it into two parts, or suppose three part. So each part will do what? Give rise to a new organism. So this one is mostly accidental, but this one is intentional. But the process is quite similar. So here, after maturing, the organism will break into smaller part to give rise to new organism. In regeneration, if the organism is broken down into part, it can give rise to more individual. Now, third type of asexual reproduction in animal is budding. So third, not another type. Budding means what? Suppose take an example of hydra. So suppose in budding, what will happen? In budding, it's very simple. Suppose this is hydra. It got a lot of tentacles. So it will do what? It will start developing another individual from its side. And when it will develop, it will cut off and there will be two separate organisms. So this is known as budding. Means what? First it will start developing a new organism from its body, and finally they will detach and form a new organism. Now few type of asexual reproduction in case of plant. Now we have seen that the sexual part, sexual reproductive part of plant is the flower, but asexual part may be root, stem or leaf. So from if you take root for example, if you have noticed sweet potato is basically the what happened if you sweet potato is basically the root of that plant which grows and which accumulates nutrient to grow up be the sweet potato. So if you grow sweet potato, it will do what? From root it will grow more and more plants. So this is what vegetative propagation. Okay, first of all, vegetative. What is vegetative propagation? Now vegetative propagation means what? The plants and the plants that can grow or that can reproduce, that can grow another plant from its different part. So this is vegetative propagation that can be done through root, stem or leaf. So through root we have seen an example, that is the potato, sweet potato, which does what? Which if we sow a sweet potato, it will give rise to new plants. But the sweet potato, it is the root itself. From the so what we are getting from root, we are getting new plants. So this is called vegetative propagation through root. So vegetative propagation through stem. So through stem there are various modes of vegetative propagation. There are various modes of vegetative propagation through stem. So one example is cutting. So cutting is very simple. So you do what? There are some plants uh, like rose maybe, yeah. So they do what? If we cut the stem or any branch of that plant, and if we bury it in the ground, so it will give what? It will start to grow new roots. So advantageous root mostly. So this root, this stem or this branch, this will give rise to a new plant, right? So this is called vegetative propagation through cutting. Is what? When we cut a branch of a tree and bury it, it will can give rise to new plant. Another is grafting. Now grafting is another example of vegetative propagation through stem. In grafting, what we do? We take a branch or stem of a plant, right? And we cut it. Suppose this is a branch and this is another one. So we will do what? So there will be two part, right? There will be two part. So this will be the part of plant A, suppose any plant for example, and this will be the root part of plant B. So you will do what? So they will cut it and join it together here, and they will do what? You will join it together and you will tie it. you will tie it, and after some days what will happen? So this will give rise to a new plant. So this part is known as scion. So this scion will give rise to a new plant. So this is called grafting. And finally one is layering. Layering is very simple. So in layering what happens? There are some plants which whose branches are get tilted towards the ground. So you do what? You take a branch, and you do what? You take a branch and bury it inside the ground. Similarly like cutting, but without cutting it, just take a branch and you bury it to the ground, which is near to the ground, and you keep it like this. Then after a few days what will happen? This branch will give new roots, and from then and there you can grow new plant. Now finally one more, that is vegetative reproduction through leaf. So a very common example is bryophyllum. Bryophyllum. In bryophyllum, what exactly happens? In bryophyllum, the leaves of when the leaves of this plant falls on the ground, from the leaf itself, new plants started to grow. So this is the vegetative reproduction through flowers. Sorry, through leaf, and finally the spore formation. So in spore formation what happens? Spore formation take place in microorganism like mold, mold or rhizophus, which you will find in bread. In spore formation what happens? So there will be this organism or this bacteria, they will develop spore, means what? Small heads, inside which there will be small uh, you can say copies of this spore, and when this spore will burst, this copy will fall and it will give rise to new spore. So this is the spore formation. So that's it. Up to this you are asked. Yes, is it? Yes. Up to this you are asked to up to this you are said to uh, study by Seba. So you read it in your home again and you see the lecture, and if you still find any difficulty, please mention, or please contact me in the contact details given to you, and do subscribe to Al Hira National School channel for more update. Thank you. Have a good day.